Yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, PokeaimMD here with the road to Blunder's ring. So, if you guys didn't know, Blunder won a Smogon tour this year, and there's another Smogon tour going around. He's actually participating in it in the qualifying rounds, which happen every single weekend. And yeah, I don't typically join those because of time constraints, but this week I actually had some free time. And today I have 6 tournament games from that. It's a live tournament if you guys didn't know. It's all OU. This week is Sun and Moon OU. And then I think next week it goes down to Oras OU. And then after that it's Black and White OU and then rinse repeats. So here's my first Smogon Tour run in a long time. And we'll see if I actually keep going with my run. I won't probably ever live record it because I was just chilling, playing, listening to music, talking to my friends, and just playing some Pokemon. But I'll give you guys the replays if anything. If you don't like the replays, that's fine. This ain't your video. That's completely fine. I just didn't feel like live recording. It wasn't even a concentration type of thing. It was just more so I was just doing stuff, and I just wanted to play. But the first game we have, we're playing Mr. Jamvad. It's obviously not Mr. Jamvad, but I see Abomasnow, so I gotta say Mr. Jamvad. But it's an Abomasnow team. Abomasnow is actually a threat depending on the set. It's like Blizzard, Earthquake, SD. Like the set that's most threatening to me, I feel like, is Earthquake, Blizzard, Ice Shard, Giga Drain. Like I think that's the most threatening set to me because it's like an offensive Tangrowth that I don't switch in very well to. However, I noticed that Mawile, it just clicks Play Rough. I mean, that's what Mawile always does. So unless they have Toxapex, you just really click Play Rough. Magearna isn't a real resistance. Landorus isn't a resistance either. Honestly, they both just get smacked by it. My Tangrowth is going to be useful in checking his Zygarde, as well as Magearna and Greninja, so Tangrowth is nice in this. As far as Lele goes, it actually helps Lele, helps Mawile, as I can weaken as I can weaken Magearna with Spec Psyshock, and I like Torn for pivoting around him. So this will be a pretty fast narration. I'm not going to be going too in depth with the thought process, but yeah, let's get right into it. So I lead Mawile because if he leads Abomasnow, I'm in a bad situation with pretty much everything else, and it also just let off well because of Intimidate. Due to Magearna, I think, and Lando Zygarde, I can just get off the Intimidate. Plus, Abomasnow was so good versus my team. And there's like 2 leads it doesn't like, which is one of my steel types. So I thought Abomasnow would come out. But I lead Mawile, gonna Mega Evolve immediately, click Play Rough as he goes up to Landorus. Landorus takes like 10 million% from this. This is offensive Landorus, either Scarf, Rocks, or Z move. Could be either or, but that's some beautiful damage. I decided to switch out though into my own Landorus. I am a Scarf as he ends up going for Stealth Rock. And he's in range of Stone Edge, and Stone Edge actually also hits Abomasnow. So I throw off a Stone Edge, does 80% to Abomasnow. Beautiful. Now I'm thinking, okay, my Heatran's a pretty good switch in. Trend is actually pretty important in this in taking on Magearna and getting up rocks for me. So I decided to go out to Heatran. He makes an excellent play and anticipates my best switch into Blizzard / Giga Drain and goes for Earthquake. In hindsight, I'm trying to think about like something I valued less. I think Scarf Lando was still good here because it threatens Magearna, it doesn't let him click Earthquake. I'm not sure what I valued less. Maybe potentially Lele would have been the sack, but Lele also gives me the offensive threat for Zygarde, so I'm not entirely sure, but that was just a great play on my opponent's part. Not much I can do from that. Great play. However, it does give me my top of Lele, and I can just click Moonblast. I decided to click Moonblast over Spec Psyshock because I wasn't sure if he'd be aggressive and go Greninja. Obviously, if I click Psyshock, I do like 40% to Mag, but I do find out he's a Assault Vest. I can bring out Tangrowth. Tangrowth is obviously threatened by the potential of the potential of Abomasnow, and a big thing is I don't get rocks up in this game. So he has Abomasnow, which is in rocks range. He has Lottie, he has Greninja, he has Lando. I don't get rocks. Now this is a play I made before, but basically because Earthquake is so obvious, and I don't want to go for knockoff either because Lando can come in if it's Z. I decided to throw off an HP Ice, just raw predicting Landorus to want to come out. Giga Drain actually would have picked up the KO too, looking back at it, but that was more of a flex play right there. I'm able to knock out the Lando as he's going to bring out Zygarde. I'm going to go right out into my own Lando, just scouting for the Outrage as he goes for it right there. And that just means that I can explode as opposed to defogging. I exploded. I didn't have defog on that, I had defog on Torn, but I exploded because Zygarde's going to be a problem, and Explosion guarantees that I put it in range of Sucker Punch from Mawile. And this also means that I can defog because I got the -1, which means he won't have rocks since Lander's got a rock. So we both won't be playing a game with rocks. Obviously, I would prefer rocks more than he did, but go for defog. He's going to bring out Magearna, and I opt to go for the knockoff here because it's an Assault Vest Magearna. It cannot knock me out at 76%. If he wants to Volt Switch, that's fine too. I got my regen to bring it back. I get rid of his Assault Vest, which means I click Moonblast and it 2 KO something. Brings out Greninja and goes for Dark Pulse on my Tangrowth switching. And I double onto Mawile, anticipating him to want to bring out Mag or potentially Lottie, which Mawile could do. And I click Play Rough here. So he clicked Dark Pulse again. I think he was either anticipating or either flinching or going for the flinch or anticipating me to double out maybe into maybe just Mawile just for damage. But I click Play Rough and I miss. Zygarde comes in. But it's okay because I can go for Sucker Punch as he makes a very nice double, taking advantage of the miss and goes out to Greninja. So I obviously don't want to give him the boost as the Battle Bond form. So I go Tangrowth as he goes for the Spike, and I double out to Lele because that's pretty free. I know it specs Greninja based on the Dark Pulse damage, and he's locked in the spikes. So going Lele covers the Lottie switch, and it covers. I don't think Magearna will come out. I thought Lottie would just be the best answer right there on like Giga Drain or knockoff or anything. Lottie could take anything, Earthquake as well. So I'll be able to go for the Specs Moonblast. Actually does not do as much as I wanted to Magearna. So I switch out to my Tangrowth as he goes for Volt Switch. And interesting thing is here, he's going to bring out Zygarde. I can't let myself get weakened with Outrage. So I switch out to my Tapu Lele if you want to go for Outrage. Makes another very good play and goes for a Banded 1,000 Arrows. Very, very nice play. However, I can bring out Tornadus and throw off a Hurricane. I kind of had to at that point. I'm in the back at this point. I'm down 3-5. And I kind of had to do that at this point. So I get the Confusion on Magearna, which leads me to go for Defog again. I mean, again, I will live every hit. Outside of Flare Cannon, though, but if he goes Flare Cannon, I get in Mawile, and Mawile is a threat. He brings out Abomasnow. I have to go Mawile here on the Ice Shard. I need all 3 of these members to win the game, right? So I get in Mawile. Sick. I can click Play Rough, and as I go for Play Rough on the Magearna, and unfortunately I miss again, and I even find out by hail that Magearna is faster than me, so I can't even stay in. So I'm forced to go out to Tangrowth as he is going to Volt Switch out into his Abomasnow. Now this is okay because I do have the Rock Slide, which will knock out Abomasnow, and unless he has Blizzard, he's not doing too much. Turns out he's probably an SD variant just based on the Ice Shard damage, but I can knock him out with the Rock Slide, great, as Zygarde is going to come out, and I have to make the call that he's going to go for Outrage. Or Toxic or Glare or whatever. So I bring out Mawile as he does go for that Outrage. And I click Focus Punch here because I'm not going to miss another Play Rough. That would be my 3rd Play Rough miss. Focus Punch would guaranteed go off. It would do a ton to Latios. It would knock out Greninja. It knocks out Magearna. It knocks out Zygarde. And he's locked into Outrage. So throw off a Focus Punch as Magearna is going to come out. Great. That is gone. No more Flying Resist. Now he's going to be able to bring out his Greninja. Obviously threatening me. Doubles out to Latios, which is a nice double. However, that was obviously expecting my Tangrowth, so I'm thinking, okay, you're probably Trick on Lottie. So what I decided to do is actually switch out, keep my Assault Vest so I can deal with Greninja, go out into Tornadus right here, as he tricks me Choice Scarf. And what I end up doing is going for the U-turn because it chipped away at Lottie. I didn't think he'd stay in either. I could bring out Tangrowth one more time as he goes for Toxic with Zygarde over Outraging. A little bit suspicious, or a little bit iffy that he went for that because I think Outrage would have been better for Greninja just for one trick, but brings out Latios one more time as he's going to go for Psyshock. And because I'm Scarf on my Tornadus, I can get off a little bit of damage with the knockoff. I knock off his Rocky Helmet too, which is pretty important for Mawile as well. And get in Mawile. And I decided not to throw off a Sucker Punch because at this point, I'm in the back, so I decided to make a play and go for Thunder Punch, anticipating him to go Greninja on the Sucker Punch. As he goes for Psyshock again, very good play. Again, this is where knocking off that Rocky Helmet really mattered. And I'm going to throw off a Sucker Punch as he's going to go out into Greninja. And right here, I'll bring out Tangrowth. Had he doubled, obviously that would have been bad, but I think I'd still be in the same situation where Greninja has to flinch me, and plus I have Sucker Punch. So I'm able to go right for the Giga Drain. I live the next Dark Pulse, so unless he flinches me, I win. And thankfully, I do not get flinched there, and that's pretty much a good game because at this point, Mawile, if I win the Sucker Punch War, I win. He could have ended up like tricking to do that and then just click Psyshock, but he actually just straight up attacked me. So I'm able to win that one. Definitely a rough start for me, especially because Heat Ram was gone so early. Rocks Up would have been just so easy in this game. Like, it would have been so great. But Heat Ram being gone early from his good play was bad for me. So great play on my opponent's part. Game 2, I end up playing Welleo. Very good OE player. A very good player in general. Now I'm using the team that Finchinator passed me that I used in the Road to Top 10 with Baneful Bunker Pex. Initial thoughts on team preview. Weaken Tangrowth, weaken Heatran. with potentially Pursuit, T-Tar, Tornadus with T-Tar. Get up rocks and pressure him with my Z Lele. That was like initially planning. Tangrowth plus Landers check extra, so I should be okay. And again, Z Lele just puts in a lot of work versus him. I'm Z all out pummeling. So I decided to lead off with my Toxapex, because I anticipated Tornadus to be its best lead. It's the fastest Mon literally on the team, and it gets a free knockoff. So this is great because I can go for Baneful Bunker, and this will be pretty important for later, getting that poison on him so he's getting chipped away. Allows me to bring out my Mega Tyranitar. So this would be really nice because later I can actually Pursuit Trap him, and with the poison plus sand racking up, like, he's not going to be recovering too much. Now I don't want to Pursuit him now because I won't be able to KO him, so I have to go for rocks. U-turn does absolutely nothing. He makes a really aggressive switch and then goes into Extra Drill. Had I crunched, obviously that would have been good, but I guess they dealt with Stone Edge too, and anticipated my rocks. But I'll bring out my Scarf Landers here. Gonna go for the U-turn as he is gonna bring out his Tornadus, and what I decided to do is go right back out on Tyranitar, and I'm gonna set up my rocks one more time. He U-turns himself, and I think he makes the aggressive play of going Greninja. That's smart. Now, because I have like 10 Greninja switches, and by that I mean 2 of the best Greninja switches in the tier, being Toxapex and Tangrowth, I think that his best play is legitimately going for a Spike, or a lot of people like the Spike in this situation. So I actually decided to stay in and go for Crunch as he doubles out the Tornadus, anticipating me to go one of those 2 to knock them, and I'm able to get the Crunch off on Tornadus, which is so crucial because it just means that I knock it out now with the Pursuit. So this is really good because in terms of speed control, Lele only has one other Pokemon that outspeeds it right now, which is the Greninja. So he's going to go Greninja. I'm obviously not going to give him his form. He takes advantage of that really nicely and goes for Spike, anticipating me not to give him his form. Very, very good play as he's going to bring up Tangrowth. A Scald was relatively free. If I get a burn on Tangrowth, great. And what I can do is actually go for a Baneful Bunker if he wants to go for knockoff as he brings out Heatran. Heatran's a good switch in too because he can get up his rocks. So very nice play on his part. I bring out my own Heatran because Magma Storm makes a lot of sense here too to trap me, so that way he can get rid of me with Taunt, Earth Power, so Greninja can put in more work. And I knew that I live in Earth Power as well because he was Leftovers, and I'm Eevee to live in Earth Power from Leftovers Heatran. Unfortunately, he's faster Leftovers Heatran, so while I do get off a good chunk of damage on him, I'm left weakened as well, and I'm forced to switch out. Go Lando, a little bit of a risk because he could have went for another Earth Power, but what I am going to do is just click Earthquake here. Now, this is a play I make because I'm fairly confident he'd go for knockoff, so I stand again with my Scarf Landers because I don't want Toxapex being knocked off, I don't want Tangrowth being knocked off, and if he knocks off Lando, he gets a crit, which sucks because that means Extra Drill does more, but if he knocks off Lando, Lando's so good versus him with Tornadus being gone. Earthquake plus U-turn hits his entire team for super effective damage. So I allow my Scarf Lando to get knocked off, and I go for U-turn. I actually do this play another time in the game, and I get a little bit of hype. But this allows me to bring out Tapu Lele, and I make a little bit of I feel like an aggressive play here for no reason, but I click All Out Pummeling. In hindsight, I could have just clicked Moonblast and picked up a KO. I probably should have, but like if he wanted to go T-Tar or pivot into Heatran, I wanted just to kill immediately. What brings out T-Tar now? Now, I'm fairly confident it's Rock's Megatar. So I know that I can go for the Focus Blast, do a ton, and basically revenge kill him with Landers if I need to. But I decided to go out to Heatran here too because I just know based on that damage that he is a defensive tar, just based on my Focus Blast damage. That's an HP invested tar. So I bring out Heatran, and that allows me to get a KO as Greninja is going to come out. I obviously had Tangrowth as a pretty good switch-in. However, I'm going to waste some turns by going for the Protect, waste some Sand turns, wear down Greninja a little bit too. It's already in range of my Giga Drain, and this allows me to bring out Tangrowth here. Grass has no resistances from my opponent. So at this point, he's either forced to sack Tar, which makes no sense because that means you do not have Sand, which means that my Landers will outspeed your Extra Drill, or just bring out Drill immediately. And I don't want to take a Z move from it. I think that that's a prime moment to go for it because you knock out Tangrowth. So I decided to go directly out into Heatran here as he does throw off a Corkscrew Crash. I live it, which is great, and I'm basically going to be able to go out into my Landers and click Earthquake and get a KO. However, because his best play is to save Extra Drill to bring out Tyranitar and get up the Sand so he can outspeed my team, I go for U-turn over Earthquake as like I'm 10,000% sure that's the play he has to make, and I'm going to call it. And this allows me to bring out Tangrowth, which again has just a great matchup versus everything. I knock out Greninja. Extra is going to come out. I don't have Earthquake, unfortunately, on this Tangrowth, but I will be able to 2-hit KO him, provided not being flinched, which I actually go for here. If he got a crit, it was a roll to KO me. However, still could have been bad. But Greninja's going to come out. I think at this point, I kind of don't have a choice but to give it Battle Bond, so unless if my Toxapex gets flinched to death. But I bring out Toxapex here. I'm Fizz Def Pex, so that means that Greninja can actually do quite a good, respectable chunk. But by going for Baneful Bunker, I not only gain Black Sludge recovery because Sand's going to end, but I also stall some more Dark Pulses. And I go for Recover here to just stall a few. He does get the flinch. At this point, I'm pretty much forced to give him his form. However, what I decide to do is, because I can... Basically, Landorus isn't going to do anything, and I can get regen back on my Tangrowth. What I decide to do is sack Landorus, bring out my Tangrowth, and then switch out into my Toxapex, sack it, and then bring back in Tangrowth to get a regen. And basically, if he gets a flinch here, I lose. If he doesn't, I win because Giga Drain KOs him. And he does not end up getting the flinch. Came down to the wire. I'm able to knock him out. This Tangrowth came through the entire game. So on to round 3. Now round 3, I'm playing Gary Oak. I decided to load up Rain. Big shout out to Blunder, by the way. I basically said, hey bro, what should I use this round? Hey bro, what should I use this round? And he passed me like 3 fire teams, some of which I already had. But playing some Little Cup right now. I'm sorry, I was just reading a message. I'm not playing Little Cup at all. As far as team matchup goes, my Z Magearna is incredible in this game. Greninja can also be really nice because I have Toxic on it. It's for Tangrowth. So that'll wear that down and I can click Dark Pulse. That's just the initial thought process. Mawile is obviously a threat. Only Swampert can OHKO it or Greninja under Rain. But I lead Swampert because Mawile, again, is such a huge threat. He leads Landorus. I decide just to Mega Evolve and go for Stealth Rock. I don't think that Landorus can KO me with anything. I feel like Landorus is also pretty important for pivoting in on this, and mainly also defogging, if not mainly defogging, excuse me, but pivoting in on potentially Magearna going for Volt Switch. So he brings out Torn. I can bring out Pelipper because I think the defog makes a lot of sense here, and basically just gives me a free U-turn and momentum as he goes for his own U-turn. Doesn't go for Hurricane, as Heat Rain's going to come out. I'm able to U-turn out into my Swampert, and a few things I could do here. I could go for Waterfall, I could go for Rocks. I opt to go for the Waterfall, and right here, I was kind of feeling myself, so I play really aggressively. I know he's going to double back out, expecting my Tornadus to come out into Heat Rain, so I decided to go for Rocks. But in hindsight, why the hell did I not Earthquake if I knew that was going to happen, man? That was a choke call on my part. And that wasn't choke because it worked out. It's still a choke even if it works out, but like I could have killed Heat Rain and immediately and just let Magearna win from there. But I decided to throw up Rocks, and man, I'm mad. But I throw up an Ice Punch here because there's no way he stays on the Heat Rain. I catch Tangrowth upon switching. I play a little bit aggressively this time, as you guys will see, and I can bring out Tornadus as he goes for Giga Drain. I think he went for Giga Drain because I was playing really crazy with my Mon, but I bring out Torn. I go for Knockoff, anticipating him to want to bring out Heat Rain, and because Rain is up for one more turn, I know that if he goes for Magma Storm, it wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Like, look at me in the comments. I'm just saying I did not think. But I can taunt him, and then I do have Super Power. However, what I can do now is go back on the Pelipper, get up the Rain as he goes for Defog, and this allows me to bring in Swampert or Greninja. And Greninja under Rain is so nasty now. His only switching is literally that Tangrowth. So I throw off a Toxic here, anticipating Tangrowth to want to come out as I do claim it, and this will be helpful later for Rain boosted Hydro Pumps. And it allows me to go out to Tornadus as he doubles out to Heat Rain. I could have taunted here too, but I didn't really think he'd go for Rocks. I'll be completely honest. Like I showed taunt before, but I obviously gained nothing from it, and I can just follow it up with Life Orb, Hurricane, and knock out Heat Rain. But he does have the Greninja, which is a threat. He also has Mawile as a threat. I can't switch into Mawile, period. So I opt to stay in here and go right for the Hurricane, as he actually goes for Focus Punch, I believe, anticipating me to want to go Ferrothorn, maybe to pivot around on it. And I get a crit, which is pretty important too, because it's just ridiculous damage on Mawile to the point of anything KOing it. And at this point, I'm not going to go for Rocks. I think as a threat, I'm going to click Waterfall, knock out Mawile. Ferrothorn is going to come out on the Tangrowth. And a few things he can do. He can knock me, but I decided to trade knocks right here because I do have knockoff on this Ferrothorn, and getting rid of the Assault on Tangrowth is almost a good game setup for me because both Greninja and Magearna can easily win now. So he brings out Torn as I'm going to go for Spike. And at this point, I'm saying to myself, okay, I sack Ferrothorn, I get in Magearna, I win. If I'm able to knock off Torn, that'd be great for Swampert as well. I'm obviously getting confused to death. He ends up going for the Super Power this turn, and I never break through. I do actually break through here, but I died a Rocky Helmet, so I'm not able to knock off his item. However, there's a few things I can do here. I have to go Magearna because I can Shift Gear or Calm Mind. I actually Calm Mind first because I thought he would maybe sack the Tangrowth. but he goes hard Landers, so this is bad. If it's offensive, Earthquake does knock me out, so I end up going out to my Pelipper just to get a brain, because I know that Swampert can literally deal with everything as he goes for Rock Paw. So this could be really bad if he's Z-Fly, kind of, because he's pretty much forced to go for it. I click Scald here to get off damage. I click U-turn to get in my Swampert. No, I click Scald. Because I had Water Shuriken at the end of the day, but I bring out Pert. It didn't matter because Landos cannot kill me at the range I'm at. I go for Waterfall. I 2-hit KO Tornadus, which is beautiful, as Tangrowth is going to come out, and all I got to do is sack my Swampert to bring out my Gearna and win the game. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Bring up my Magearna. I'm going to go for the Shift Gear here, as he's going to switch out to Landers one more time. Maybe thinking I'd go for Flare Cannon or something. I go for Shift Gear. I know for a fact that because he's offensive Landers, Corkscrew Crash will be able to knock him out. I get my +1, and because I don't want to lose to Greninja, like crazy Water Shuriken rolls, I decided to go for Calm Mind, because Rain ends this turn. I get a Spadef boost, and even if he gets 5 hits from Greninja, my Magearna does not die with the Spadef boost. So, but if he got 5 hits in a crit, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wouldn't have done it if they all did, 7 or 8. So obviously a crit would have done it, but anyway, Magearna was able to win. Definitely could have been a lot easier of a game had I just, I rocked because I knew Heatran was coming out, but I could have just went for Earthquake and knocked it out too. And I would just set up for Magearna. I literally could have set up Magearna on Tornadus and won the game from there because of the set I had. Oh well. Sometimes I don't play that well. Sometimes I do. Anyway, next round, round 4. We are playing Finchinator. So Finchinator is a good friend of mine. I'm using a team that Blunder passed me. I believe it. Oh, they're talking about Snake. What the hell? Bro, I have not been on Snake. I was just rereading these logs. I have not played Snake in a bit, man. My team is unfortunately out. I love Snake, though. It was really good. Anyway, I have a Reuniclus, which is so nasty versus Finch, because he has Greninja and Tyranitar. And the thing is, the most common Reuniclus set right now is Acid Armor, Psychic or Psyshock, Recover, Calm Mind. So they're not running Z, fighting type attacks, but I'm Z fighting, so my game plan is to play nasty versus Greninja / Tyranitar, and Heatran just beats Lele, can beat Tornadus, can beat Celesteela, and can beat Tangrowth. So that's like the game plan from there. Heatran's also Will-O-Wisp, so it does really well in general. Now, because my Heatran is Will-O-Wisp, and because Torn is such a good lead versus me, again, speed control wise, I decided to lead off a Heatran. He goes directly out into Tyranitar as I throw out my rocks, and this is what I wanted. I didn't think Torn would knock off immediately, because if I am like a Z move, it doesn't make sense, you'll die. And I'm able to throw off a Will-O-Wisp, which is great. Burning Tyranitar means it's burnt for the entire game, which gives me Reuniclus. Reuniclus does not care, it would take the Earthquake. He doubles out to Greninja, which is a fire play on his part, maybe anticipating me want to go out to my own Tyranitar. And I literally have Tyranitar and Ferrothorn, so in my opinion, especially with the common knowledge of the metagame, this is the freest spike of Greninja's life. So taking full advantage of that, I'm going to play aggressive as hell and click all-out pummeling here and blow back one of the biggest threats to my team. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyway, Lele's going to come out. I opt to go for Psyshock. If it's Specs, I need the chip damage, so that way my Landers can knock it out. He Calm Minds up. I get the damage I need. He unfortunately gets a crit, which would not have knocked me out. Had I gotten off the next Psyshock, I could have U-turned right here, but I actually could Earthquake because just based on my Reuniclus play, I figured that would kind of get in Finch's head. Again, Pokemon's a psychological game. This is literally my thought process. But I figured it kind of get in Finch's head, and he might expect me to U-turn. And he'd probably click all out pummeling this turn, too, if he anticipated me to U-turn. I'll be honest. And that would have nuked something. Besides Lottie, obviously. But I'm able to knock out another big threat to my team. Again, had I gotten off the second Psyshock, if he didn't crit me, I put him in range of U-turn, and that would not have been a threat, period. Right? I also put him in range of Lottie, which is really nice versus his team anyway. But I click Earthquake here. I'm not going to mess around with the threat. And right here I make another pretty fire play similar to the one I did before. I stand in Scarf Earthquake because I know that knockoff is his best play. And this allows me to defog. Getting rid of the spike and Greninja being dead means it will not be there at all. And I can just go out to Tyranitar because Tyranitar does not care at all about knockoff. Very nice play on my opponent's part going for U-turn there, anticipating me to go T-Char. And Celesteela is going to come out. I'm going to go out to Ferrothorn because if he has Earthquake, I'm a scout for it. Also scouts for Leech Seed. And what I can do is double out potentially into my Heatran if he does want to go for said move. And I double back out in my Landers, or I triple back out into my Landers because if he has Earthquake, I'm not going to let my Heatran get weakened when it literally solos the rest of his team. And also if he wants to go for rocks, I can defog. So brings out Tyranitar. I go to Rocks. Unfortunately, crits me with Pursuit, which kind of sucks because I would have lived it, and I could have gotten off an Earthquake on the T-Tar, which would have been really nice for Heat Ran and potentially even prevented Rocks. But I bring out my Ferrothorn now. I will live a Fire Punch, and I kind of want to spike up because if it's AV Tangrowth, which it should be, it actually takes Lava Plume relatively easily. And also, by me staying with Ferrothorn, I'm getting the Iron Barb's damage. I clicked Thunder Wave there. That was honestly a bad play. But if he went Tangrowth, you know, paralyzing it would be great. And either way, he is in a position where if he gives me a Flash Fire boost, he's in a really bad place. So he goes for Crunch there, anticipating Heat Ran going to come out. And now because I think Fire Punch is a good play, and he's pretty much revealed that he doesn't have Earthquake, since he showed Crunch, Fire Punch, and everything. Heat Ran's just my best play. I get in, I get my Flash Fire boost, and I can click Lava Plume and pick up a KO. So I keep Rocks up this game. His Tangrowth, excuse me, I keep Spikes up this game. His Tangrowth comes in. I don't knock out Tangrowth with Lava Plume and Earthquake. While it doesn't KO me, it does weaken me, and Celesteela could be a problem. So I bring out Ferrothorn now. Unfortunately, I'm not knockoff on this Ferrothorn. However, T-Wave is the freest move of my life, either paralyzing Tangrowth or paralyzing Celesteela. And I'm able to go for another Spike, again, wearing down that Tangrowth. Celesteela's going to come out. It's 50-50s here because obviously I don't want to get Leech Seed. I don't want to get Flamethrower. I'm able to bring out Latias, and you know what? I'm going to click that yellow color one more time, paralyzing Celesteela, limiting its moves, and allowing me to bring out my Ferrothorn here in case he wants to go for Heavy Slam or Leech Seed. And again, just a few pivots. He gets full paralyzed right there as I go for Leech Seed. I don't know if he went for Flamethrower or another Leech Seed, but I'm able to bring out my Heat Ran right here as he goes for the Flamethrower, and I get a Flash Fire boost, which is going to be great because now I can go for this Lava Plume. I end up picking up the burn on Tornadus, and he should go for Knockoff here. I think Knockoff makes a lot of sense. So what I'm going to do is bring out Tyranitar, and with the burn plus the Sand, Tornadus dies to Pursuit guaranteed. So that means he can't knock me off with Tornadus anymore. So basically only Tangrowth can either threaten Heat Ran, and outside of that I can't really. So Celesteela comes out. I do not want him going for the Leech Seed, but I kind of think Heavy Slam makes a lot of sense too. And I can't let him get a Spadef boost. So I bring out Heat Ran here. I'm going to throw off Lava Plumes. As look how little Celesteela takes. Like if he got a Spadef boost right there, I probably lost 1v1 this Celesteela, which is why I had to switch. So I throw off another Lava Plume because I can still 2 KO, and if he gets full paralyzed again, that'll help me out. But I'm gonna switch. I believe. Do I switch now? No. I throw off one more Lava Plume as Tangrowth comes out, and with the Leech Seed recovery, it actually can tank another one. So I have to go out into my Ferrothorn. Another Spike is great. Double that to Celesteela, which is a great play. And again, I'm going to go Heat Ran because, again, these are just 50-50s. He does go for Flamethrower, giving me the Flash Fire boost, which is great for a 2-hit KO right there. And even if he got the Leech Seed off, he would need some really good Protect turns and double protects in order to win. He gets full Paralyzed, which ensures victory at this point because Celesteela cannot come out. And Tangrowth, even if it doesn't die to Lava Plume, I do have Latias to KO it. But the Flash Fire boost of Lava Plume is going to be able to knock out Finch, and that's going to be GG. So I believe we're on to round 5 or 6. It's one of these. I think this is round 5, which is semifinals. Yes, this is semifinals. Let me just open up Smogon real quick and make sure this is semifinals. So, you know, first Smogon tour in a long time, and is it semifinals? What round is this? Let's open it up real quick. My bad, guys. Let me check real quick. So, yep, round 2 was that. Round 3, round 4. Yep, this is no, this is round 6. Round 5 was finished. This is round 6. So this is semifinals. I'm playing Lighthouses. I'm using the Rain team again. Looking at matchup, Magearna again goes in. If I could just weaken Ferrothorn, and I love Pert in this. I think this is another game I don't play too well, but honestly, I was clicking a lot in this game. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was playing really aggressively a lot of times, and I feel like it's because I didn't really care if I won or lost. I'm gonna be honest. I was just having fun. But either way, Tornadus is a really good matchup because it knocks off everything and pressures Medicham if he leads off with that. Everything else, Medicham pressures. So I let Tornadus. He leads off his own. I click Hurricane here as he brings out Nihilego. Now, I literally have a... Ignore Blunder in the chat because he's about to ghost me, but I clicked this way before Blunder said anything. I literally have a Magearna, a Ferrothorn, and a Swampert in the back to resist Rock. I'm going to go for Knockoff here, anticipating him to want to go out to Gliscor or to want to double in general. I get rid of Gliscor's Toxic Orb, which is sick. And I click a Life Orb Hurricane. I barely miss out on the KO. However, he only goes for U-turn. Gliscor's at 4%. Nihilego is going to come out. I'm not going to let... I unfortunately do not pull the trigger again, but I'm able to bring out my Ferrothorn, which means that I can get up Spikes And Spikes is really nice for, again, just weakening his own Ferrothorn. He even does me a solid and goes out to his own Ferrothorn himself. So I'm able to get rid of its leftovers. And again, this is just so good for my Magearna in the end game. Now, I could go for another Spike, but I'm going to bring out Tornadus because if I get off Superpower, I'm literally put it in range of Magearna. But I actually double out to Ferrothorn just in case he went for Gyro Ball, so he just takes more Iron Barbs. And this allows me to potentially get up another Spike or go for Power Whip. Power Whip was the play if he wanted to Roost. In hindsight, Spike would have been fine too, because Metacham's obviously going to come out. And at this point, I'm kind of forced to sack something to Metacham. But he knocks me out with the high jump kick there. I'm able to bring out Greninja, and Dark Pulse picks up a KO. 2-hit KO is Ferrothorn at the range it's at, and 2-hit KO is Greninja as well, depending on rolls. So it's my best play. He acknowledges that very, very well. I did not change the nicknames. I forgot. I just realized what Blunder wrote. But I go for Specs Dark Pulse, and I'm like, oh, is this Scarf? If it is, then I can get in Pert here and not care. And get up Rocks, which is going to be really nice for Ferrothorn, or just even click Earthquake. So he brings up Tornadus. I decide to actually click Rocks because, again, I'm trying to weaken that Ferrothorn. And here's where I make my biggest misplay. This Mon literally 6-0'd. If I just sacked something, I brought up Magearna and I won. Easily, because I didn't take any damage. But I bring it in on Hurricane and I take damage unnecessarily. And what I'm going to do right here is go right for the Calm Mind, because I think that as far as sacking goes, Nihilego makes the most sense, in my opinion. So I go for Calm Mind and I go for Shift Gear. And basically, by getting my Shift Gear and my Soul Heart boost, I'm going to be able to knock out Nihilego right here, get the boost, and at this point, Ferrothorn dies to my Z move. But had I not switched it in directly on the Hurricane, had I just sacked something and brought Magearna after, I think it was also just another win. Because he's going to be able to fake me out. I can go right for the Thunderbolt here, as Thunderbolt literally guarantees that my Z move will knock him out after. Thunderbolt also hits Greninja, and I can just click my Z move, get rid of Ferrothorn, and that will be the death of Ferrothorn. He's going to bring out Metacham before going out to Greninja, because Greninja needs like massive hits to knock me out. But he's able to sack his Metacham, which is great. And again, this is where I kind of... This is where, like I said, I messed up. Like, had I not just done that and had I just set up later, like, it wasn't that smooth. But at this point, man, it was like 9 o'clock at night. I hadn't eaten, so screw it. Anyway, Greninja, I give it its Battle Bond form. However, what I'm able to do is bring out my Pelipper. Pelipper will not die, and I can go for Roost. I bring out Pelipper too. I obviously make my Tornadus' Hurricanes accurate. But my endgame is basically with Pelipper 1v1ing everything. So as long as Pelipper's at 100%, it can come in on Greninja and not die to Water Shuriken. And because I do have Swampert, he will always be forced to go for Water Shuriken. So I bring out my Tornadus here as he goes for Hurricane. I go for my own. It is a speed tie. I do end up winning it, which is super important too. That was like 50-50 in terms of who could win, because I basically go out to Swampert next. And I clicked Waterfall. However, had I not won that, I think Waterfall was a roll on Tornadus, on max HP Tornadus, if not mainly in his favor. And at this point, because I was able to pick up that KO, Waterfall also KO'd Greninja. It did like minimum 51 or 52, so it was my best play there. He's forced to go for Water Shuriken, and at this point, all I gotta do is go for the Roost with Pelipper a few times, stall out the rain, and then just U-turn win. So again, I do end up winning this game because even with crits, he can't win. But it wasn't well played on my part. I think the other games I played a lot more cleaner. I think the early game I played really aggressively, which is great, but then I just kind of got a little bit out of control and brought out Magearna. But basically, I roost up to full, and then I U-turn twice, and Greninja drops. So I am in the finals of my first Smogon tour back in a long time. So that's clean. Like I said, man, road to Blunder's Ring. So this is a live tour. And yeah, I'm able to knock out the Greninja with this next one. So my finals player is Zamog. It's Zamog and then Ruhr. Oops. Now, Zamog just used stall, and he was saying he was using stall, so I was like, oh, okay, man, let me just load up anti-stall. I honestly regret the team that I loaded up, because he ended up loading up dual screen offense, and this team is really bad versus Gyarados. It's not that good versus Gyarados. Like, obviously Tangrowth helps with it, but I don't know. Not the biggest fan. So I actually end up leading off with my Slowbro, because Landorus is usually Focus Sash and gets up rocks. I throw off a Scald here as he ends up going for his rocks. I get a burn, which is pretty cool. I'm going to throw off another Scald. If he wants to explode, that doesn't matter. He brings out Superior. How do I get rid of these nicknames? He brings out Superior. Now, because I guarantee live Leaf Storm, and I'm scared of him being Glare, which is why I didn't want to go out to Hero. And I actually find out he's not Glare by Blunder in the chat. Man, just ghosting in chat. But I know I can live Leaf Storm. If I go for Toxic, Lopunny just revenge kill him. He doesn't do too well versus me. But I go for the Toxic here as he brings out Landers, and I'm just going to throw off a Skull one more time as he brings out his Superior. I think he doubled out to Landers because he actually did not have Glare, and he didn't have a way of dealing with Heat Ram, but he wanted to deal with that in that offensive double. But like I said, what I'm going to do is throw off a Toxic one more time. By wearing him down, I basically put him in range of Lopunny, and I am, again, just trying to wear him down with Tangrowth because I was really scared of him being Glare. But in hindsight, maybe I should not have went out to Tangrowth just to weaken it. But at this point, though, like Slowbro doesn't have any need at all. And basically, after the next Poison turn, he dies to High Jump Kick from Lopunny. So I did end up sacking my Slowbro there. But again, it didn't beat. I say, like, he says this, but if it's Glare, Sub-C, which I didn't know it actually wasn't. It was Taunt Synthesis, as you guys will see. Like, I made the play that it was necessary. Anyway, gonna bring out my Lopunny. I'm gonna go for High Jump Kick. Oh, excuse me, Frustration, because he was in range of Frustration. There was no way he stayed in anyway. That mon was too much of a threat. As Keldeo is gonna come out, I'll bring out my Tangrowth, and it kind of sucks because this Tangrowth is not Giga Drain, it's Grass Knot. And if you guys didn't know, that does a lot less. That does a lot less to Keldeo. And I kind of felt like while Tangrowth was good in a sense that it dealt with Gyarados, I didn't think I had to risk High Jump Kick as well, so I was trying to limit that. But at the same time, maybe that was a bad plan on my part, letting Tangrowth take the Secret Sword. After Grass Knot, I should have just sacked Greninja. I sacked Greninja because I'm Scarf Gren, but I don't have any moves to hit his team for super effective damage, so I sacked Gren there as he goes for Hydro Vortex. I could bring Lopunny and go for High Jump Kick now, guarantee KOs on that mon as he brings out his Superior. Okay, so the only play I could have made differently that turn, I think, was Power Up Punching, anticipating him to want to go Cirque. Because if I Power Up Punch twice, I believe I win because he's not intimidated on Gyarados. So I should have made the aggressive play there, I think, instead. And by me letting Tangrowth weaken, I'm a lot weaker to potentially Shift Gear Magearna and Gyarados as well. So I can't KO him. And I know he has Wild Charge as well because I've seen his game. So I go out to Nidoking and I just start throwing off some Sludge Waves as I'm going to double out into my Lopunny on the U-turn because I want to try and wear down the Gyarados. Unfortunately, I did not have Thunderbolt on Nidoking, so I would have went for it that turn. But in any case, I'm going to go right for the Frustration. And basically at this point, I'm kind of hoping for a crit. So I sack my Nidoking as it doesn't really beat much and Tangrowth can at least potentially eat something up. However, he unfortunately has Moxie on his Gyarados. So at this point, I'm really just hoping for some crits. I can't even, like, I think that even with this one mon, I wouldn't be able to win on its own because a crit wouldn't kill Magearna. So at this point, I kind of just give up and say GG. And Zamog is able to win Smogon Tour, but I didn't make it to finals on my first. I did make it to finals on my first Smogon Tour back. And not even my first Smogon Tour back because I don't play Smogon Tour ever. So first time playing Smogon Tour in a long time, ended up making finals. Didn't end up clutching in finals, but I think I got like 7, 8, 9 points, whatever, which is pretty cool. So maybe, for those of you that are a bit more competitive and obviously follow Smogon Tour, I might try and make a run for Smogon Tour playoffs. We shall see though, we shall see. If time does permit, I always call Smogon Tour the No Life Tour, at least if you're on the East Coast. Because like, for East Coast, it's Friday at 6 p.m., and then it's like Saturday at 4, and then Sunday at 2. So a lot of those times are just like prime times for not being home. But in my opinion, anyway. But we'll see if time does permit. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed some tournament replays. I don't think I'll ever live record this because I just trying to chill, have some fun. I don't really want to do too much commentary while I'm playing either. Plus, it's like fun to interact with the chat at times too. But obviously, if you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know if you guys would like to see more of this as well, assuming I play. Hey man, my first one back and I got to semis. Blunder's first one back and he won, which is pretty cool too. I'll show you guys real quick. Where is it? Smogon Tour. Yeah, he won the first week back, which is... No. He didn't. No. He did the exact same thing as me, didn't he? I think he did the exact same thing as me. Yeah, he made it to semis. Oh, I did better than Blunder. Hey, not bad. But I think he's consistently, though, he's like consistently getting to semis, which is ridiculous because that's just enough points to qualify. Yeah, he's like consistently doing, that's not the right one. I think he entered only one of them. I'm kind of just, was it this one? I think it was this one. He made it to finals or something as well. So he's been doing well too. But I mean, he always does well in Smogon Tour. Smogon Tour is like his tour. Where is it? Where the hell is this, man? Is it male? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see this. I know you guys probably closed the video by this point. I know he did well in Black and White OU. He's really good at Black and White OU. There's Blunder. Yeah, there you go. Blunder made the semis like twice. So, anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, if you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends.